Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will talk about learning styles. Before I start talking about the learning styles theories, I want to warn you about something. A lot of evidence suggests that people aren't really one certain kind of learner or another, and it's maybe harmful to categorize or label a person, especially at a younger age. For example, a student categorized as an auditory learner may end up thinking there is no point in pursuing studies in visual subjects such as art or written subjects like journalism, and then be demotivated during these classes. Or if students do not achieve the academic grades they expect, or do not enjoy their learning, then they may attribute these negative experiences to the false belief that they are not taught in a way that matches their supposed learning style. They may be further demotivated for future studies. We need to be aware of the fact that categorizing and labeling students may cause more serious problems. Furthermore, there is considerable amount of evidence which suggests that teaching and learning styles should be mismatched to a certain degree in order to challenge and accommodate more students. This mismatch will help students to improve their weaker learning styles and prepare them for their future studies. Keeping these in mind, we can now talk about different learning styles theories. Generally speaking, an individual's learning style refers to the preferential way in which a person absorbs, processes, comprehends, and retains, stores the information, that specific information. People may have more than one learning style or can use one mode of learning in one situation and another mode in a different situation. Learning style theory has gained importance after Myers and Briggs' application of earlier studies in education and philosophy, especially on Carl Gustav Jung's studies to create the Myers-Briggs type indicator, which is shortened as MBTI. This has influenced a great number of researchers in the field. The MBTI measures a person's preferred ways of thinking and behaving. A brief study of this indicator is given here, and this is taken from this website. You can see here. If you want to get more information, further information, you can visit this website and read more detailed information there. Myers and Briggs identified four aspects of for their indicators, each having two categories related to them. Now let's go through these one by one. The first aspect is where a person focuses their attention. We have two categories here: extroversion, symbolized by E, and introversion, symbolized by I. In extroversion category, people who tend to, extroversion refers to people who tend to focus on the outer world of people and things. Introversion refers to people who tend to focus on the inner world of ideas and impressions. The second aspect is the way a person gathers information. Here we have two categories: sensing, symbolized by S, and intuition, symbolized by N. Not to be confused with the first I, okay? Sensing refers to people who tend to focus on the present, now, and on concrete information gained from their senses. Intuition refers to people who tend to focus on the future with a view toward patterns and possibilities. The third aspect is the way a person makes decisions. And the subcategories here are thinking, symbolized by T, and feeling, symbolized by F. Thinking refers to people who tend to base their decisions primarily on logic, reason, and on objective analysis of cause and effect. Feeling refers to people who tend to base their decisions primarily on values and on subjective evaluation of person-centered concerns. The last aspect is how a person deals with the outer world. The subcategories are judging, symbolized by J, and perceiving, symbolized by P. Judging refers to people who tend to like planned and organized approach to life and prefer to have things settled. Perceiving refers to people who tend to like a flexible and spontaneous approach to life and prefer to keep their options open. Well, after Myers and Briggs indicator, we see the index of learning styles developed by Richard Felder and Linda Silverman in the late 1980s. This also covers 4 dimensions of learning styles. These dimensions are on a continuum with one learning preference on the far left and the other one on the far right. So you don't need to be on the extreme points of this continuum. You can be, or the person can be anywhere on this continuum. As you can see in the figure, the first one is, at one end we have sensory, at the other end we have intuitive. Sensory learners prefer concrete, practical, and procedural information. They look for facts. Intuitive learners prefer conceptual, innovative, and theoretical information. They look for the meaning, deeper meaning. The second continuum is at one end we have visual, at the other end we have verbal. Visual learners prefer graphs, pictures, photographs, cartoons, diagrams, anything visual, because they look for visual representations of information. Verbal learners prefer to hear or read information. They look for explanations with words. The third continuum is, at one end we have active, and at the other we have reflective. Active learners prefer to manipulate objects, do physical experiments, and learn by trying. They enjoy working in groups to figure out problems. Reflective, the reflective learners prefer to think things thoroughly, to evaluate options, and learn by analysis. They enjoy learning by themselves, figuring out solutions by themselves. The last continuum, as you can see again in the figure, is at one end we have sequential, and at the other end we have global. Sequential learners prefer to have information presented linearly on a line, okay, and in an orderly manner, one following the other. They put together the details in order to understand the bigger picture. So small pieces are given to them. They can take these small pieces and put them to form the main picture. Global learners, on the other hand, prefer a holistic approach. They want to see the big picture first. And if they want, they can fill in the details by themselves. They need to relate the new information to what they already know, what they already have. The next theory that I want to mention here is Kolb's learning theory, which came out in 1984. And Kolb's learning theory is based on a 4-stage learning cycle, as you can see in this figure. According to Kolb's learning style inventory, there are 4 learning styles that employ different combinations of these aspects. For example, we have Converger, which is a combination of abstract conceptualization plus active experimentation. This person's greatest strength lies in the practical application of ideas. A person with this style seems to do best in those situations where there is a single correct answer or a solution to a question or a problem, and these people can focus on specific problems or situations. The second one is Diverger, which is a combination of concrete experience plus reflective observation. Divergers have characteristics opposite from convergers. Their greatest strengths lie in creativity and imaginative ability. They excel in the ability to view concrete situations from many different perspectives. They're interested in people and tend to be emotional. The next one is Assimilator, which is a combination of abstract conceptualization plus reflective observation. This person's strength lies in the ability to understand and create theories. A person with this learning style excels in inductive reasoning and in synthesizing various ideas and observations into an integrated whole. For this person, it is more important that the theory be logical and reasonable and precise. And the last one is accommodator, which is a combination of concrete experience plus active experimentation. Accommodators are polar opposites from assimilators. Their greatest strengths lie in carrying out plans and experiments and involving themselves in new experiences. They are risk takers. They are not afraid of trying out new things. They excel in those situations requiring quick decisions and problems that require adaptations, okay, thinking outside the box. They often solve issues and problems in an intuitive trial and error manner, relying heavily on other people for information rather than proven facts or theories present. The other theory that I want to mention here is Fleming and Baum's VARK model, which came out in 2006. And this model has been brutally criticized, okay, because it kind of classifies or labels people as visual, auditory or oral, read/write, and kinesthetic style. So V stands for visual, A stands for oral or auditory, R stands for read/write, and K in VARK stands for kinesthetic. They claim that visual learners learn by seeing. They have a high ability for visual recall. They prefer to learn using visual presentations such as graphs, posters, photographs, maps, displays, tables, grids, etc. Things like that. Things that have a graphic representation because they love graphics. Oral/auditory learners learn by listening. They favor the audio and have a high ability for auditory recall. They prefer repetition, summaries, and benefit from discussions, lectures, stories, podcasts. Read/write learners rely heavily on the written word. This preference of learning style is the most commonly used one by traditional educators. The read/write learner prefers to have text as both help the learner to gather information and share information. Kinesthetic learners rely on doing. They heavily depend on interactions within the learning environment and especially with their bodies. Movement-based learning, we can say. They will easily recall events or information attached to an experience or the feelings of a physical event. Kinesthetic learners learn best by or through field trips, physical activity, manipulating objects, and touching, actually tactile interaction with the learning material. Kinesthetic learners tend to have high difficulty in sitting passively or sitting still, and they need frequent breaks when they learn. They need to stand up and move around. To wrap up, we can come up with some important points. The first one, teachers may use inventories and or checklists to identify the learning styles of their students. I strongly suggest they should verify the results by using their classroom observations before they claim that a student is kinesthetic or auditory. The second point here is learners, if old or mature enough, can also be informed about the results. This is not to label them. I think we should also warn our learners that they may have one preferred learning style, but this doesn't mean that they cannot use the other learning styles. Knowing one's learning style can be beneficial if learners take the next step and consider how and when they learn as part of the reflective, metacognitive process with action to follow, not being demotivated. Okay, so they should keep themselves open to all other styles. The third point here is it is especially important to keep all avenues, options, and aspirations open for our students. As Peschler and his colleagues state, the primary focus should be on identifying and introducing new experiences, activities, and challenges that enhance everybody's learning. The fourth point is teachers who have an understanding of their students' learning styles are able to adapt their teaching techniques appropriately. And the fifth point is teachers should introduce a wide variety of appropriate techniques into their classes, implement several different activities to match and, to a certain degree, mismatch their learners' learning styles. This will help students explore different ways of thinking and learning. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.